What's going on, everyone? It's Corey here from the Breakevens, giving you another Super Coach team preview video today. Today, we have the Port Adelaide Football Club. Looking over at my notes, there are a few people that we need to get through, which is good because the more people we talk about, the more information we have to help ourselves pick the better side, or the best side, I should say. So, before we get into that, make sure you go check out any of the other videos. We've done the first 12 teams already. We're on to the final six in the next 6 days. It has been a lot of fun doing these, a lot of research, and hours put in. So make sure you go back, check all those videos. You like the videos and you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, because we have daily Supercoach content all the way to round one this season. So make sure you go do that. And you can follow me on X at Breakevens Pod or on Facebook, The Breakevens, for all AFL Supercoach content, BBL, NBA, NFL, NBL. That's it that I can think of right now. Did I say FPL? I think I might have. It is what it is. Let's get into the Port Adelaide Football Club, though. They finished second in 2024. That's on the ladder after the home and away season. Obviously, they did not make the grand final. So, was a good year for them in some aspects, but finishing second as a club, you probably want to make the grand final, give yourself a chance, but was not to be. Now, they've had a lot of ins, they've had a lot of outs. So let's go through that. So the ins for the Port Adelaide Football Club, starting with Rory Atkins, which was a trade from Gold Coast. Benny Barrett was a Category B rookie who's come in. Joe Berry was pick 15. Heard a lot about him. I don't know much about him, but I've heard only good things. Tom Cochran was from the rookie draft. Jack Lukosius was a trade from Gold Coast. Christian Moraes was pick 38. Jacob Moss was a Category B rookie. Joe Richards was traded from Collingwood, and Jack Whitlock was pick 33. So looking there, Atkins has experience, Lukosius experience, Joe Richards, a little bit of experience at a bit better side with the prison bars. And a few good young pickups that we'll get to very, very soon. The outs, Tom Cleary was delisted. Charlie Dixon retired. Francis Evans was delisted. Dan Houston was traded to Collingwood. Kyle Marshall was delisted. Tom McCallum was delisted. Trent McKenzie, the big booming left foot, the cannon, has retired. Quinton Sparkle Narkle has been delisted, and Tom Scully was delisted also. So looking just at players out, obviously Dan Houston is a big one. Charlie Dixon has been very serviceable for them. Struggled with a bit of injury the last couple of years. Francis Evans and Tom Cleary were always around the side as well. And Trent McKenzie played a role for a few years. So, yeah, a lot of outs, some good ins, but I think they've just gone for the younger guys because they have a nice young core. So let's go through the pre-season news. Now, most of this is from December 24, 2024. But there is one more that I will put in that happened the last couple of days. This being recorded on the 14th. So, firstly, Ivan Soldo has impressed, and he's trying to take that number one ruck role back off of Jordan Sweet. Sweet was huge for us last season, especially early on, and then played a big role to get us to the buys, made plenty of money. Soldo is trying to get that number one back. If I was Port Adelaide, I'd stick with Sweet just because I think he is a better ruckman, but Ivan Soto is the man with the mustache, and as you can see, even though mine's not as good as his, you got to back a man with a mustache. So be interesting to see how that goes. Jace Burgoyne has been playing on a wing, so we saw him a bit on the half back. He's been trialled on the wing, um, and he scored decently at times last season. So can he take the next step potentially? And the reason he's been moved onto the wing is because Kane Farrell and Josh Sin are fighting for Dan Houston's role. At this stage, I think it's Farrell, but Sin is one of the future, highly rated, booming left foot, very quick. But Farrell did that role a little bit last year, so and did well last year. So there will be a player profile coming up soon about that. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Um, and Rosie has worked on his strength and recovery in the gym. So injury affected season last season. He's really worked on his body this season and he's looking good. And hopefully the steps he has taken will help him to be a little bit less injury prone. So he is slightly underpriced. So could be someone you could look towards potentially as a pod option. So that was all from December 2024. Um, what has happened over the last few days is Todd Marshall has done his Achilles and he's out for a while. So that'll be interesting to see um, who takes his forward spot. Do they just stick with Georgiades and who else do they have that's a tall forward? You know, they've brought in Lukosius, who might have to play second string in that forward line. So, because obviously Charlie Dixon retired. So, a little bit of a reshuffle there, but it is what it is. So, that's all the preseason news. Let's get over to the Super Coach selections. And the primos, we have Zach Butters at 648K as a mid. I believe he went 120 last season. Again, there've been a player profile coming up shortly. It went 120 last season. I can see him pushing 125 this season. I just think there's room for improvement there. I think yes, he had a great year and he was up there for the Brownlow. We all thought, um, but I think he goes better. I seriously think he goes 125. So he's locked into my side. Um, you know, there's three ways you can play it. You can fade him totally, get someone a bit cheaper. You can stick him as your M1 if you want to fade Bont, or you do what I have currently done, and you have him and a Bont M1, M2. So I think he's a lock and should be definitely in consideration for a majority of sides because there's a little bit of value there, I feel. And he doesn't get suspended because they just fine him every time. So he's going to play. Next is Jason Horn Francis at 537K as a forward mid. 99 last year. Was the number one forward last year with a 99.5, which is crazy. Usually we have 100 plus. He's a lock for me. I think with the forward options that we have, there's him, Dylan Moore, you got Rankin, really that are the top three. I think he has the best role and has room to improve. Young guy. If he gets more mid time this season, you can definitely push 105. I don't see him going over 105 and not by much. Maybe he gets 106, maybe just pushes 107, but I think he's more 100 to 105, which is, 5.5, 6 points. I guess difference from last season. Um, they're not going to play him, just pure mid. He is going to be that mid forward rotation guy, which he did last season, and he scored. He averaged not 99.5. So I definitely see a bit of development there. So I think he pushes 105 at a max, which bar any crazy DPPs, he's probably going to be F1. So he is a lock. Um, and if you fade him, you're basically getting Rankin or more, um, which I think they're a little bit more inconsistent. So it is what it is. Go into the mid price and value selection. So first up is Kane Farrell, 445k defender. As I've said, actually, you know what? I'll do them both at the same time. So Farrell at 445 as a defender and Josh Sin at 229k as a defender. Looks like they're both fighting for that Dan Houston role. Whoever gets it will be the super coach pick, value pick out of all the Port Adelaide players, and mainly the value pick. Um, well, actually, I shouldn't say that because you got Mills and Kitty Coleman there. So if it's Josh Sin, then he is massive bargain because at 229k, you don't have a lot to lose. What is that priced at? If I quickly just get it up, if I use the magic number, so calculator is 229. So 229 divided by the magic number. So it's priced at a 42. So if at worst he goes a 75 times the magic number, he goes up to 404,000. So he makes you just under 180k. And if he gets that Houston roll and goes 85, which is probably his max. I do see him probably going 80 to 85 if he does have that role. And then he's at 458k. So he's an easy stepping stone to one of the primos there. If it's Kane Farrell, you're picking him as a primo to start off because that is a very awkward price at 445k. If I do magic number, so his price at an 882. With that role, you'd think he'd go 95 to 100. So basically, you are picking him as a primo. So it is a very awkward price. That role is there for either Farrell or Sin. It's just trying to monitor and see who is going to get that role. Farrell is at mature age. He's not old yet because I'm pretty sure he's still, mid to late 20s. So I think he's more like mid 20s. Um, he's still got a future there. Josh Sin is the almost like the new guy on the block. He's been in the system for a few years. They rate him. It's just he gets injured a fair bit. So whoever gets this role is going to come out for the better for Supercoach. It's just, do you want to pay 445 for Kane Farrell, who, could go 95 to 100, where you have for 100k cheaper, you have your Mills, and then 200k cheaper almost, you have Kitty Coleman. So with Josh Sin, nothing to lose. If he does poorly, you can always go down to a rookie, or you make a trade and you go up and fix that. So keep an eye on both Farrell and Sin and see which one is looking good for that role. Next is Connor Rosie at 529k as a mid. Is at a slight discount. So let me get up divided by the magic number. So he's priced at a 98. I think he can go 105. So there's small bit of value there. We know 105 isn't going to cut it in the midfield. We need him to go 110. So if you think Rosie can go 110, with the likes of, you got Butters, Horn Francis, you got Rosie, you got Farrell, who's, trying to take that Houston role. Um, those are the main guys. Obviously, you have who's the ginger, Willem Drew, who actually scores quite well as a tagger as well. Ollie Wines will go off, and then spurts here and there. So if you think he can go 110, then at 529, he's cheaper than all the other guys. Actually, no, he's a little bit more dearer than those guys like Will Day, Clayton Oliver, and stuff. So it is slightly awkward price, but we know he is underpriced. Am I going to go there? Probably not. Maybe around the buys if he is really kicking off, or there's a few injuries, and it looks like he might go into a more dominant role. Then that's when you make the move, I think. And I'm not going near any of the rucks. I'm not going near Soldo or Sweet. The rookies, Christian Moraes, 113k mid. He's impressed early. I don't know much about him, if I'm being honest. But what I have heard is he is doing very well. He's trying to push for a round one debut. Is he going to get that? Probably not. I don't think he's best 22. And if he is a sub risk. But he is someone to have on your watch list because there is a good chance that he might get games throughout the season. So it's good to keep in the back of your mind, and become a downgrade target. Next is Sam Powell-Pepper, 180k forward, is coming back from an injury. What is his role? We've heard recently that his role will be as a forward, so it doesn't look like he's getting any mid time. Fair enough, because their mids are stacked. As it is, Drew, Wines, Rosie, Butters, then you're giving Horn Francis some time there. And you could see a few other guys just roll through there if need be. Maybe or Moraes if he's playing. So Powell-Pepper looks to be playing forward and is a big sub risk. I can see him being sub a little bit more, that bit older, coming back from a few injuries. Ease him into the season a little bit, give him some confidence. So I think Sam Powell-Pepper is an avoid. And Joe Barry, 140k as a forward. Again, don't know a whole lot on Berry. All I know is, again, he's doing very, very well and impressing in preseason. Word is he's more of a chance than Moraes to get a gig at the moment. What's his role going to be in the side? Is he going to be that high half forward, or is he going to be stuck in a pocket? Is he best 22? Probably not. Is he a sub risk? I think he's someone who could inject some pace and impact quite quickly off the bench. So he's probably another one that you stay clear of. But they rate him highly. What pick did he go? He went pick 15. So he's definitely no one to sleep on. But it's all dependent on how they line up. With Francis Evans gone, you could see him maybe come into that forward line, but nothing is certain. So just keep an eye on Moraes and Berry. They're definitely around the right areas right now. All right, let's move to the fixtures and the buys. Let me get my buy photo up, because once again, I forgot. So Port Adelaide have the round 12 bye, which they share with Carlton, North Melbourne, and Bulldogs. So it is a tough one. If you aren't starting with a Butters or Horn Francis, you probably want to get them at the latest by then. And by then, your Farrell and Sins should be gone. Your rookies should be gone. So really, it's only Butters and Horn Francis there that you have to worry about with the other guys. Tough buy. but it is what it is. Their fixture, so they don't play in round zero. So they have the Pies away in round one, the Tigers at home in round two, the Bombers away in round three, the Saints at home in round four. They have the Hawks at home. It's Gather Round in round five, and round six they have the Swans away. So you look at that: Pies, Hawks, Swans. So three tough ones there. Tigers and Saints, you'd think should be a walk in the park, especially both at home. And then the Hawks, it is at home, so they will be going in as favourites, but I'm tipping Hawthorn to be a great side this year. So that, is a 50-50. The teams they play twice, so they play the Crows twice, the Pies twice, Freo twice, Cats twice, Hawks twice, and Swans twice. Those are some tough fixtures. Pies, Freo, Cats, Hawks, Swans. A lot of people are tipping all those sides to be around that 8. And obviously, the derby against the Crows is always a big one. So, finishing second, you're going to expect a tougher fixture. So, that's going to do it for Port Adelaide. A few names there that are very relevant. So, keep your eyes on all the training notes there. So that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget, go check out all the other videos if you haven't missed any, because just like this video, there's a whole bunch of information that you need to know. We've got more team previews coming in the next coming days. We've got some team news. I've got a team reveal coming very soon. So keep your eyes posted. To see all of those and have all those notifications, you can find me on X at Breakevens Pod, on Facebook, The Breakevens, and here on YouTube, The Breakevens. Like, follow, and subscribe on all of those channels for all AFL Supercoach content, which is daily up to round one. Thank you all again for watching and listening. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, it's bye for now.